The Judge of All the Earth is the third chapter in Watchmen. This chapter revolves around the exile of Dr. Manhattan and his relationship with Janie Slater and Laurie Jesbeklik. The main theme is the risen fear of nuclear war that spread across the city of New York. Story starts at Mr. Manhattan military facility. John and Laurie start to have sex. Laurie's eyes are closed, but she realizes there are too many hands touching her face. When she looks up, there are two Johns in the bedroom with her, and another one doing a science experiment in the next room. Laurie is furious and leaves, but John doesn't understand what he did wrong. In an office elsewhere, an aging Janie Slater interviews with Nova Express and tells them about how bitter and hurt she was when John left her for 16-year-old Laurie. She's glad that someone tell her story and reveal what sort of person that John is. Laurie storms out to go see them while Dr. Manhattan prepares for a rare public appearance on a television talk show. She starts venting her relationship problems. While out walking, they're attacked by a not-top gang. Their all-crime fighting training kicks in, and they make short work of the attackers. Meanwhile, back at the talk show, a reporter from the Nova Express accuses Dr. Manhattan of giving cancer to individuals who had been close to him. When the issue is pressed by the media, Dr. Manhattan becomes angered, and he teleports everyone in the television studio into a nearby parking lot. The story causes the media to go crazy. Feeling that his continued presence on the Earth would be harmful to humans around him, Dr. Manhattan decides to leave for Mars. He then teleports himself to an abandoned shack, taking a photo of a man standing next to the young Janie Slater. His departure makes headlines across the media as Russia invades Afghanistan, a possible precursor to a nuclear war. The main thing that is being discussed is about a sense of cosmic isolation. So the core idea that we're going to be exploring is there a higher power watching out of humanity? If there's a God, if there's some divine plan, why does that God allow for evil things to happen? Why would that God like humanity get to the point where they're on the verge of annihilating themselves through atomic weapons? If God was good and all-powerful and all-caring about humanity, why would he let the atrocities like the Holocaust happen? And all of these questions lead to more profound philosophical conclusions about the potential humanity is cosmically isolated, that we are all alone, that we are in the universe without any higher power watching over us, or if there's a higher power watching over us. So today, I'm going to talk about 4 main points that are happening in this chapter, which help to better understand the plot. The first one will be the symbol of the trefoil. On the cover of the chapter, there's a trefoil symbol on the fallow shelter sign that's hanging on the building near Bernard's newsstand. So later one's put on the door of Dr. Manhattan's room above danger quarantine area. So the trefoil symbol represents nuclear radioactivity. It represents the fear of a lot of the country felt during the Cold War, in which it was expected that a nuclear war was nigh at any moment. Further, one of many subplots of the storyline involves the sidewalk news vendors in New York City talking with various passbys, and the boy sitting nearby is reading a pirate's same comic book. So chapter 3 is a comic within the comic. So the Black Freighter is also a constant presence in the novel. It tells the story of a long shipwreck survivor who is chased by a band of pirates. And the Watchman and the Black Freighter tell different stories in different genres, but Moore parallels events in the 2 comics. So Moore uses passage from the Black Freighters to increase the tension the readers to feel as the plot of Watchmen advances. So the pirate comics becomes an ongoing motif, eventually coming to parallel the way that several characters occupy roles that seem close to the true heroes. And the New Frontier Man newspaper also becomes an ongoing motif representative of a right-wing view of the world. And one detail I want to mention is a news vendor appears frequently throughout the story, and commenting on world events and headlines, since the majority of Watchman's characters are heroes, so the news vendors reflect the feelings of the general population. So third, I want to talk about the end quotation. Shall not the judge of all the earth do right? It is from Genesis chapter 18, verse 25. It is a story that a man called Abraham actually asked this question directly to the God, and it's when he finds out that the God is going to destroy the city Sodom and Gomorrah. So he begs God and says, wait a second, are there righteous people in Sodom and Gomorrah? Yeah, there might be evil people, but are you going to kill the all good people too? And that just brought me a question. Is God's sense of justice is something that is so far beyond our own comprehension that we are never going to be able to understand? So finally, we're going to talk about another excerpt from Under the Hood. To the Hollies recalls that the 1950s saw the decline of costume heroes. So these rapid fall from grace of these masked heroes show not only the capricious natures of public opinion, but also that the heroes are not essential to the safe functioning of the society anymore. It further reveals that the motivation of each of them to be a hero, like their desire to be the hero, outweighs the need of society. And once the novelty wears off, so the heroes became irrelevant. Dr. Manhattan's characters operates on several levels at once, we can see. So as noted earlier, as the only true superhuman, he occupies a godlike position among mortal humans. And at the same time, the American government treats him as a weapon of mass destruction. And the fear and wonder that the people feel toward him echoes the fear and wonder the news of the hydrogen bomb inspired in the actual history. So in both senses, Dr. Manhattan's presence allows the story to explore the meaning of life and the frailty of human society.